Hey guys, welcome back to For StarCraft 2 Strategy, your #1 location for step-by-step strategy and tutorial videos. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ever-prevalent Baneling bust. This is a Zerg strategy. It is used most effectively versus Terran players, but it also can be effective versus a Protoss opponent who is walling in. And we're just going to go ahead and take a look at what the strategy is, what it entails, and how to effectively go about doing it. So again, this is the Baneling bust. Terran player is our opponent this specific matchup, and they're going for the standard Terran wall in. Now what we are going to do to counteract this is we're going to get some Zerglings, Speedlings rather. We're going to be upgrading the speed. Zerglings are much more effective with that speed upgrade. And we're going to be transforming them into Banelings, blowing up the frontal defense of the Terran player who thinks that they are safe inside their base, and then running our Speedlings right into their base and wreaking havoc. This is effective because Speedlings early on are very good versus Terran ground forces. The issue is typically getting your Speedlings to them, be it they're in a bunker or they're standing behind a wall. Obviously, if you have some Marines standing behind a wall, your Zerglings, being melee units, not having any sort of ranged attack, will do no damage to them. However, getting through this wall and running up to those Marines, you will then be able to take them out. So again, that's exactly what this Baneling bust goes about doing. So taking a look at the build order here, we're going to go ahead and drop a spawning pool down at 14, and then we're going to be getting an extractor as well right after that. This is pretty standard stuff. 14 pool is a pretty strong economic opening for Zerg players. This isn't too off-keel. You're not setting yourself behind by going for this strategy versus a Terran player. You're going to be in a good economic position going for this. Getting that Vespian early and getting that spawning pool up at 14 is going to allow you to have produced enough drones to have a pretty strong economy. Now, as you can see here, we're moving up with our Overlord, trying to get some scouting information. This can be a dangerous move and a dangerous position, having the Overlord right in the open right here. Because they're so slow, with a couple of Marines, they're going to actually be able to snipe out the Overlord, and that is what ends up happening here. But what the important thing is that we did get the scouting information, but for future reference, if you are a Zerg player and you're trying to scout the front of a Terran player's base, maybe put your Overlord, send him in this path, and then move in a little bit to check the front, and then pull back up here so the Marines won't be able to just follow him and basically snipe him down as they do in this specific video here. As you can see, Overlord kaput. Set us back a little bit, but not too much. We're just going to pump out another Overlord and go from there. As you can see, we are researching that metabolic boost. Again, Zerglings are much more effective with that speed upgrade. It allows them to get a surround on their enemies quicker, and that allows them to obviously do damage quicker, because the faster you can get a Zergling up to the opponent's forces, the quicker you're going to get them to start doing damage. Again, they are melee units, so faster they move, the better. Pretty simple stuff, not much explaining necessary. So now, in seeing that we have that frontal defense of the Terran player there, that typical wall in, that's when we're going to go ahead and drop the Baneling's nest. Again, we didn't do that until we saw this wall in, because if the Terran player didn't wall in for some reason, if they had their productions buildings all down here and nothing up front for that wall in, then we wouldn't really need the Banelings. We could just go ahead and move in with Speedlings and do what damage we could that way. But again, we did see that wall, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop that Baneling's nest. And again, we're staying fully saturated on this extractor. That extractor did go down at 14 supply with that spawning pool. Keep that fully saturated. No need for a second extractor quite yet. You're going to need your minerals to pump out a ton of Zerglings, and then also to morph them into Banelings. Now, as you can see here, we're looking at about 6 Banelings. It takes 4 to 5. It's either 4 or 5. I think it might be 5 to break through a supply depot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. We had 1 extra Baneling left. Now, as you can see, in breaking through that wall, our Speedlings were able to get up, get a nice surround. And another thing to know, a lot of times, as you can see here, we've got a lot of production buildings. The Terran player was trying to tech up pretty high. The other reason why the Baneling bust is effective is because there's that false sense of security that a Terran player has from that wall end, thinking, oh, Zerglings aren't going to be able to get in here. And yes, he's right. Typically, if there were just Zerglings here, you could just repair your buildings with SCVs if they were attacking them, and they wouldn't be able to break in. But those Banelings do so much damage up front that they just bust through those buildings, and then your Zerglings are allowed to get in. And again, since he had that false sense of security in here, he started teching up, trying to plan for the mid to late game, and he didn't have enough forces to defend against this early game push. So that's pretty much exactly why that this is an effective strategy. Again, breaking through that wall when they think you aren't going to be able to. Now, as a Terran player, you can prevent this from happening by doing some scouting and trying to find that Baneling's nest, but unfortunately, our Terran player here didn't do that. So again, just going over the overview for an effective Baneling bust. Starting off, just pumping out drones at 14 supply. You went ahead and get that spawning pool, followed immediately by an extractor. Go ahead and saturate that extractor. Once you see that frontal wall, then you're going to want to go ahead and drop your Baneling's nest. Just stick with the one extractor for now. No need for a second one for the time being. You're going to need, again, all those minerals to pump out a ton of Zerglings. And then go ahead and move up some Zerglings near the front of your opponent's base. Turn about 5 or 6 of them is, again, all you're going to need to break through one of the supply depots. Turn 5 or 6 of those Zerglings into Banelings, bust through that front wall, and let your speed Zerglings go to work. So again, guys, this has been for StarCraft 2 strategy. If you like what you see and you like our videos, please do go ahead and subscribe. Please do stay tuned for more videos. Keep watching and keep owning.